All right, so here we are again. Well, thank you. The response has been tremendous to the first video. Thank you so much for your comments. Gotten some emails, things on other different platforms, but it's been really good, and thank you. And so the first one was entitled The Dream. And remember, we talked a lot about those conversations that you need to have with yourself. This next one is sort of piggybacking off, yeah, I think that's how you say it, off of the first one, about the conversations. And one of the things, again, to be honest with yourself is I want to be honest with all of you and be totally upfront, transparent, and just let you know. So, what I mean by that is I don't think that necessarily the way that Meepleville has turned into, or what I have done, is the most profitable way to, per se, open up a board game cafe, maybe even other types of business, but a board game cafe. And I'll tell you why. Now, I'm happy with the way Meepleville is. I love it. I think it's exactly what I wanted. But why I don't think it was the most profitable way, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on that and to be honest and upfront with you. So, I always wanted to get into this because, again, it was a dream, it was a passion, something I really wanted to do, but just to bring people together for that social interaction. It was more a labor of love, a mission that, of course, I hoped would bring me money, financial stability, income. That's what we all want, right? When we go into business, you want to make money. That's the thing. However, why I want to say that my model may not have been the most successful, and I'm not going to say may not have been, it isn't the model, I would say, if you're looking to go into this to strictly perhaps make income or a lot of money. And I'll tell you why. So on the back of my shirt, my t-shirts, it even says, where everybody knows your game. And of course, I took that from Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Old people like me know what that series is about, right? But that's what I really wanted. I wanted that community. I wanted that soul. And it was something that I could feel proud of, something that I accomplished, to go back at when I went to bed at night, to go to sleep and know, yeah, I've made that third safe place, right? You may have heard that expression, third safe place, because in our lives, our home is our first safe place, our work is our second safe place, and people in general have a third safe place, whether that's a club, a bar, a friend's house, a park, some place that they always go outside of work, home, what's the next spot. And I wanted Meepleville to be that. And I'm really proud of it. I'm really happy. I love it. However, again, to be honest, there have been times where I know if I had opened up where I was a restaurant, bar, and had a few games, I would have made a lot more money. But it wouldn't have been what I wanted. Because think about it. Look at an establishment. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to disparage any type of chain restaurant or anything, but you know what I'm talking about. There's those chain restaurants that are great. They got that good kind of Americana type food. You go in and they're packed and all that kind of stuff. Well, just imagine if you put 500 games in one of them. Then you know what? You're still going to be making a lot of money from those restaurants, from the food, the bar, and all that kind of stuff, and people are going to be playing games. So there are a lot of establishments and cafes that are in that model, and they make a lot of money, and they do very well. And they are a board game cafe. So part of the conversation that you're going to need to have with yourself is to make sure you know what your vision is also, and what you're hoping to accomplish, right? What you're hoping to get out of it. Because, again, I just want to be upfront, completely transparent. If you're looking to perhaps make a lot of money in the beginning, more money off the bat, then opening a board game cafe with the food and beverage model first and foremost would probably be the way for you to go. So the way I did it when I first opened is I didn't have food and beverage. because I wasn't quite sure this was going to work. All right. So again, somebody made a comment about lessons learned. This is when lessons. I wasn't quite sure. I needed to prove it to myself. So I didn't know if I was going to be able to get enough of the community or enough people to pay. I love the idea. I love the concept. I told you I've been wanting to do it forever, but I still wasn't convinced it would actually work. So I needed to prove to myself. So when I first opened, it was just, I had a retail section, I had the tables to play games, and I had, canned soda, packaged sandwiches, just like, stuff like that so people could snack and eat. And I needed to prove it to myself. So that's how I opened. Because again, first and foremost, my vision was the community, bringing people together to play games where everybody knows your game. And that's what was my first thing. And I was like, wow, it worked. So with that being said, I had right of first offer, ROFO. You guys may see that in contracts or do that. And again, later on, we'll talk about that. But if you're looking to expand, one of the things you may consider in choosing a location, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of the stuff here, is that there is space to expand. So I purposely did that. I found a perfect situation where I opened up with 2,700 square feet in one location. Right next door was 1,300 square feet where I knew that I was planning to open up cafe, bar, whatever it was going to be, the food and beverage side, say. So I did it a little bit different. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys are clear with that and understand that again, this is a lesson learned. So I want you to make sure you take what I say with a grain of salt, with a lot of credence. I don't know. It's up to you. But I want to talk about all different sides, the failures and successes, different viewpoints. Again, so what is the vision? What type of establishment do you want to open? Because I was able to get through the lean years, the hard times, right? Because most businesses fail in the first year and a half, as they say, all those kind of statistics and all that kind of stuff. Even with my vision, that's a whole nother subject. However, I stayed true to my vision because that's what I wanted. And now I do have the cafe, have alcohol, food and beverage, food and all that kind of stuff. And that came in later. So there are different ways to do that. And it was a lesson learned. So again, this is going to be a little bit shorter, but I just wanted to, number one, get out there the full disclosure and the transparency and just the honesty, right? That how I opened may not be the way you want to open, but it is a way. It was my way. And there are other ways. Because I've noticed those people who open the cafes, and I knew it too. I said to myself, man, if I opened right away, yeah, this would be fantastic. But again, think about it. If you go to those chain restaurants and there were just a couple of games in there, you may like it. You may go once every 2-3 months to have a meal there, but is it really your third safe place? Do you really go there a lot? Do you know everybody there who works there? Do you have other friends who you join up and meet there? No, you just go there, spend your money, and you're gone. And the establishment loves it, right? Because they got your money and you're gone. But to me, it's not necessarily about the money. It's about you. I wanted to know the people. I wanted to know the gamers. I wanted to create the community. I wanted the people. And, they're there. They came, and it's great. We have a nice community. It's a wonderful, wonderful group of people. So I just wanted to go ahead and say that real quick. But that's a lesson learned and a vision. And another thing, you need to make sure that when you're planning this out about opening up a board game cafe or any type of business for that matter, what is your number one focus? Is it going to be food and beverage? Maybe it's just going to be beverage. Maybe you're going to have a bar, right? There have been cafe board game bars that are bars that have that. Of course, they maybe have like the finger food, like nachos and mozzarella sticks, maybe things like that, like little finger food, but primarily a bar. So there are many, many, many different types of board game cafes to open. But in those conversations, in the plans, be clear on where your direction is. And just know, like I said, I'm being honest, that doing it the way I did it with more of the community and not the focus on the food and beverage is not the most profitable way. I mean, it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it's not the most profitable. But you know what I mean. So anyway, just part of the discussion. Hope you got something out of this, and I'll see you on the next episode of the Small Business Chronicles.